Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Salman Asadullah, part of Cisco. So I've been here for the last 2-3 hours. I think I came just before an hour before lunch, and was part of was able to listen to the panel discussion. So basically, my background is I myself, I did my master's in embedded system programming back in the days, but I was a foreign student. So Cisco offered me a job as a tech engineer back in 1995, and I was just happy to find a job. Otherwise, I had to go back home, right? So, but I had those software skills, right? And I was being in Cisco, I just became one of those CLI jockeys, right? But over the time, I kind of moved around a little bit and worked 3 years of my career, almost 4 years in engineering as well. But recently, I have sort of come to more on the sales side, channel sales for America's partner organization. So just like all the big vendors, we do most of our sales through channel partners, right? 80–90% of sales, big vendors do that. But now think about with all these changes which are happening, right, in the industry with the network programmability, SDN, Open, DevOps, all these sort of things. We have this big workforce, right, which we need to really kind of work with and really kind of evolve them to become those hybrid engineers. People who are basically what I call a hybrid engineer, that people who have these network configuration, network engineer skills, but at the same time, they have, they're dangerous enough to do some of this DevOps, Python, Chef, Puppet, these sort of things as well. Because guess what? All of these vendors, including Cisco, doesn't matter where you are, they're opening up their APIs, right? So you can really kind of use some of these tools to do certain things, right? If you don't want to wait for 12 to 18 months for a feature, you could really kind of do some of these things through using these tools. So just to kind of provide these sort of path, how we are taking our workforce internally and with our partners, for instance, we're sort of coming up with some kind of providing them this certain steps they can take to become those hybrid engineers. So for that, we are sort of, Nathan from my team, we kind of worked together, talked about some of the Devnite capabilities. Over here, I've sort of, I'm showing you 4 different ways we are sort of doing these things. The first one, the Devnite Labs, for instance, these are more pre-cooked labs where basically people kind of go step by step, look at what really happens when the REST API calls are made right behind the scenes. So you're basically these engineers who might have some software skills in the past. In the college they have done it, but they're not doing it anymore, but they get to see what really happens. So we've built these labs, hands-on labs, step-by-step stuff, which is very well liked. At the same time, we're, kind of for people who are a little bit far ahead, we're sort of doing things like hackathons, for these folks who already know Python, Chef, and Puppet, and things like that. At the same time, a lot of our engineers are going through these Python 9-week Coursera course, like in our organization, for instance, right now there are like over, I would say close to 1,000 engineers who have been through that course, So right now there's a course being offered, 9-week course where like over 200 engineers are going through it, our internal and external, our partner engineers and Cisco engineers. At the same time, we are sort of coming up with a lot of certifications so people can go take a step by step and really evolve and become those hybrid engineers and learn those skills. So I'll skip some of these slides. This more for your review later on. But key takeaways, I would say just to kind of stay in the 5-minute slot, is that within our organizations we just have to kind of provide that path, and you'll be amazed to see or surprised to see the skills they have. Most of the engineers in the IT field, you'll see they have some computer science or engineering degrees, right? So they have done, COBOL or Fortran or whatever at some point, right? So, but if you kind of start giving them some sort of path, you'll be amazed. Like recently, we ran a hackathon, a 2-day hackathon for one of our partners. Over 200 engineers were part of it. It was such a great environment, and people came out with really good ideas, right? And with some of those ideas, even that partner is going to go and monetize on it. So things, if you kind of provide that learning environment, give them some path, there are a lot of things which could be done. What we are telling, not to overwhelm people, right? Because I saw when people asked overhead in the panel, how many of you are doing it or want to do it, I just saw very few hands people raised. So we're not really overwhelming people saying that you're going to become from a network engineer to a software developer. No, we're sort of kind of giving them that path that, your skills, what you have are important, but at the same time, you have to kind of start learning some of these skills as well to become those quote-unquote hybrid engineers. So this is something, I want to kind of to share what we're doing within our organization, within our teams, to kind of raise that skill set. So with that, I think my time is up, and I'll be here for any more detailed questions. I've skipped most of the slides, but I'll be happy to answer any questions, or you can reach me later on as well. Thank you.